Silva Melo, muito obrigado pelos R$3. Uhul! Valeu, meu garoto. Vou agradecer R$1. Renato Igor Silva Moreira. Renato Igor Silva Moreira, muito obrigado pelo R$1, meu garoto. Uhul! Valeu, meu menino. Opa! Peraí, deixa eu confirmar aqui. Tá, mais R$1. Benedito de Oliveira Chagas. Benedito de Oliveira Chagas. Uhul! Muito obrigado pelo R$1. Sandra Tiana Carvalho Viana. Sandra Tiana Carvalho Viana, muito obrigado pelos 2,26. Uhul! Valeu! Muito obrigado.
Recupera de nuevo Coutinho. La pone en largo. Coutinho. Jutgla con rojo. Falta de rojo.
Falta clara.
Sobre Ferran Jutgla, el ex del Manchester United.
Ferran Jutgla, que fíjate, ahí vemos, tiene físico, y tiene velocidad, y ahí tiene que apurar el defensor porque el jugador se marchaba. Pase era bueno.
Ahí vemos la tribuna principal desde Marshall Park de Riyadh. Camino ya del minuto 40. No sé si le ha enseñado tarjeta amarilla, luego hemos visto una repetición. Igual le ha enseñado tarjeta amarilla, rojo. El centro es muy pasado, es finalmente saque de banda. Saque de banda. Favorable a Boca. Se lo toman con calma los futbolistas del equipo del míster de Bataglia.
Nascimento da Silva Júnior. Carlos Augusto Nascimento da Silva Júnior, muito obrigado pelos R$9. Vamos ver se tem mais alguém aqui. Minha nossa, tem muita gente aqui, galera. Eu peço perdão, mas vou ter que agradecer. Vai lá. Eu ganhei... deixa eu confirmar aqui. R$7. R$7 de Ricardo... Ari Ricardo Souza de Moraes. Ari Ricardo Souza de Moraes. Muito obrigado pelos R$7. Uhul! Valeu, meu garoto. Tamo junto.
Álvaro, Ricky, Dest, de nuevo Ricky, con el carril del 10. Álvaro, Demir, juega Demir en el 3-1, se le escapa ese balón a Demir, la presión de Jutgla, Demir que cae al suelo, falta peligrosísima.
Sí, falta clara.
A menos de medio metro de la cal de la frontal de la de Castillo, línea recta al palo izquierdo de la portería de Rossi.
Y enseguida va a buscar el balón Yusuf Demir, que es el protagonista porque le hacen la falta. Ahí lo vamos a ver, cómo lo derriban. Falta clarísima que era merecedora de tarjeta. Y vamos a ver si los galones... Bueno,
ha notado el contacto y se ha dejado caer un poquito.
Exacto, no, le ha puesto la pierna en el gemelo del jugador contrario.
No, es falta clara.
Sí.
Minuto 41. Pensativo Xavi Hernández. Está junto al balón Coutinho, también Ricky, también Demir. Yusuf. El árbitro le recuerda a los futbolistas chenices que no pueden taparse el balón con el brazo. Si les dan el brazo pitará penalti. Aquí el realizador mirando a los espectadores. Demir, Alves y Coutinho. Vamos a ver quién lleva más galones ahí.
Pues, lo que está claro es que Demir quería tirarla, pero el peso de Coutinho y no sé, parece como si fuera Coutinho, ¿no? Que fuera a lanzar, ¿no?
Tira Alves. Ha intentado sorprender. Entre discusión y discusión.
Sí. No sé, yo creo que era más bien un balón para Coutinho, ¿no? Ha querido sorprender, pero no. Ha tirado flojo.
No está muy contento Alves con...
No, hombre, con razón. Pues
iba a palos.
Sí,
iba a palos.
No, pero sin potencia,
iba a puerta. Toca de nuevo Alves. Buen control orientado de Dani Alves. Le quería hacer una sotana ahí a Ramírez.
Y ahora ha hecho falta, Ha hecho falta Dani Alves. Falta de
veterano de Corea, ¿no?
Sí, falta de tarjeta, porque fíjate, se desentiende, lo vamos a ver ahí, se desentiende el balón. Ahí, bueno, va a intentar a buscar el balón y otra pieza, menos de lo que pensaba al principio.
Reclama que le habían hecho falta anteriormente.
Claro.
Y minuto ya 43. Empate a 0 entre el Barça y Boca. Lanzamiento de Rojo. Buscando a Villa. Corta Balde. No llega Vázquez. Sí que llega el inglés. La mata con el pecho Ricky. La pone al piso. Combina de nuevo con Balde. Todavía Balde. Delante del Campuzano. Puede conectar con Serginho Dest. La acción clara de falta de Advíncula sobre Serginho Dest. No está muy conforme el ex del Rayo Vallecano. Saca de nuevo ese balón Ricky. La baja para Álvaro Sanz, el jugador del filial de Sergi Barjuan. Y juega de nuevo para Eric García. Todavía Eric. La acción sobre Jutla. Buena recuperación entrando desde atrás del propio Rojo. Sube al ataque Rojo. Recupera de nuevo Dani Alves. Rojo que intenta volver rápidamente a su sitio. Lenglet. Juega de nuevo con Ricky. Combina Ricky, Coutinho. Coutinho Alves buscando a Jutla. Balón que rebota, lástima en Campuzano. Es saque de esquina Barcelona. Saque de esquina favorable al combinado de Xavi Hernández.
Era un balón que no era fácil porque estaba balón en movimiento. Ha querido tirar desde abajo, ¿no? O sea, colocando bien el pie, pero claro, exige mucha calidad técnica ese pase.
A pie cambiado Lanzarate, mira el corazón del área de la portería de Rossi. Al primer palo, nadie remata, nadie rechaza con contundencia. Finalmente sale con esférico controlado. Boca desde atrás, Fabra. Vamos a ver ahora Balde. Bien. Tapa la acción de Villa, recupera de nuevo Alves. Coutinho. Juega Coutinho con Demir. En el mano a mano de nuevo con Fabra, se va por dentro. La combinación con Coutinho no es buena. Intenta recuperar el propio Coutinho primero. Demir después. Sale con el esférico controlado Almendra. Bien. Y otra vez la recuperación de Alves. Bueno, hay que insistir, persistir. Vamos a ver. Estamos ya en los últimos segundos de esta primera parte. No ha pasado nada para que el árbitro añada más tiempo, pero en fin. Un minuto de propina estaría bien. A ver si acabamos esta jugada. Un minuto se va a añadir. Buen cambio de juego para Dani Alves. Buen control orientado. El centro de Alves. El remate de Jutla.
Era fácil.
No la ha enganchado bien Jutla. Saque de puerta.
Tenía muy pegado al defensor.
A izquierdo.
Muy encima. Sí.
Saque de puerta. Y me imagino que esta acción que va a iniciar Rossi será ya la última acción de esta primera parte. Aquí en Riad, en esta Maradona Cup que os estamos ofreciendo en Barça TV desde las 6 de la tarde, ahorita menos en Canarias.
Vamos lá, eu recebi R$2. Rosivaldo Fonseca Marques. Rosivaldo Fonseca Marques, muito obrigado pelos R$2. Uhul! Valeu, meu garoto. E o último aqui por enquanto, R$1. Paulo André Soares Gomes. Paulo André Soares Gomes, muito obrigado pelo R$1. Uhul! Valeu, meu garoto. Tamo junto. Valeu, tropa. Obrigado.
Ricky no llega por poco Coutinho.
Vou ser a próxima Masterchef Brasil. Oi, chefe! Não repara a bagunça. Não, eu tô guardando aqui, assim, eu sou professora, né? Aí eu tô guardando as embalagens pra fazer atividade com os alunos. Inclusive, gente, por favor, as embalagens que vocês usarem, podem trazer aqui na minha bancada? Obrigada! Oi? 30 minutos pra fazer o melhor macarrão da vida e um bom empratamento, um bom empratamento. Oi, chefe. Então, eu fiz um macarrão. E o macarrão, na verdade, eu fiz assim de uma forma rápida. Foram 3 minutos. Mas eu caprichei muito no empratamento e fiz uma decoração belíssima. Eu vou ser a próxima
morangos não vão ganhar nem mais um. Os morangos não vão ganhar nem mais um título nessa vida. Eles só perdem. O Super Grêmio tá demais, nos trazendo alegria. Tem o Breno, DC e Rafinha. Claro, também tem o Ferreira, o Diego Souza e o Thiago, que jogam mais que os Colorado. E é como diz o Maicon, vocês conhecem um tal de Dourado? Quem é Dourado? Quem é Dourado? Me responde quem é Dourado. Dourado, Dourado. Para alegrar a nossa semana, estamos rindo dos Colorados. Mais um título conquistado, contra campeão do estado. E o Rafinha que atrai caneco, caneco, caneco. Onde está Rafinha, es caneco, caneco, caneco. Boteg, Paródias, original, é o Grêmio maior do sul. Douglas Costa vai jogar, mas nem estreou ainda. Ansiedade, tristeza vai se instaurar lá pelos lados do Guaíba. Eles estão perdidos na vida. Eles não ganham mais nenhuma taça, nem sequer o título do estado. Coitado dos Colorado, devem estar tudo borrado. Pelo Grêmio ganhando de novo, de novo, de novo. De novo, de novo, de novo, de novo, de novo. O Rafinha e o Diego Souza, eles fizeram um pagode pesado. Zoaram os Colorado e o Yuri Alberto, coitado. E nós vamos fazer um minuto de silêncio pros Colorado. Morreram de novo os coitados, Grêmio maior do estado. Não deu mais uma vez. Mas o título gaúcho, Super Grêmio está formado. É os guri. Mas nem estreou ainda. Ansiedade, tristeza vai se instaurar lá pelos lados do Guaíba. Eles estão perdidos na vida. Eles não ganham mais nenhuma taça, nem sequer.
Olha só o Davidson, roubando a bola, o Davidson bateu pro gol! Gol! É do Palmeiras! Davidson! Samsung
Advíncula. For Boca Juniors, one player who's taken off is Edwin Cardona. Placing him is number 30, Ceballos. And the other sub that Boca Juniors were going to make if the game broadcasters are sympathetic enough to us to show us who it's going to be. Have to wait to find out. Getting footage of the fans enjoying themselves at the Marceau Park Stadium. Not at full capacity today, but those who are there are having an absolute blast. Barca will have the first possession of the second half. Now playing with Neto in goal, Dani Alves, Eric, Mingueza and Balde, Álvaro Sanz, Riqui Puig and Felipe Coutinho, Serginho Dest, Jugla and Ilias Akomaj, who's come on for the second half. Eric has switched over to the left-hand side of defence with Oscar Mingueza pairing with him at centre-back. Still trying to find out who the second substitution for Boca Juniors is. Find out in just a second on our screens right now. The graphics for the Barca subs. Looking forward to seeing what Ilias can bring to the team.
Looks like he's gone over to the right-hand side with Dest staying on the left and Jugla through the middle, like it finished in the first half.
We only saw Ilias in the first game that Xavi Hernandez coached in the first half against Espanyol. Wasn't able to make much of an impact. Then was unavailable for one of the Champions League games due to suspension. He wasn't able to be called up last game against Osasuna, also due to suspension after he'd been sent off with Barca B. It's Coutinho. Barca moving the ball around here is Riqui Puig. Deep pass, looking for the run of Ilias. Ball straight into the hands of Rossi. It's Fabra. Ilias defending. Barca trying to put a little bit of pressure on the Boca Juniors defense. Ball switched over to Advíncula. Yes, Sebastián Villa making a run down the right flank. He came to a halt. Defended now by Balde. Deep ball by Sebastián Villa straight to Neto, who was able to play comfortably. There is Felipe Coutinho. Tracking back. Alves, Mingueza, over to Eric. Runs to pick up the ball. Just trying to listen to the announcers there. Wasn't clear enough in my head. Trying to find out the other substitution for Boca Juniors. We'll see if the information comes through. Barca with an attacking move. Here is Felipe Coutinho driving. Coutinho could have taken a shot with his left. Hesitated, tried to cut to his right, and allowed Boca to recover the ball. Now Balde has to foul Villa.
It's not one of the substitutions, but I can tell you that after Lenglet, who was the captain in the first half, went off, it's Dani Alves who has the armband in the second half.
Well, rightfully so, I'd say. He's only just joined the squad, but he is a veteran superstar and a role model for lots of these youngsters who've travelled today with the team. A reminder that some of the first team players who joined the squad in this travel to Saudi Arabia are not available or will not play today. That's a list formed by Marc-André ter Stegen, Gerard Piqué, Sergio Busquets, Ousmane Dembélé, both de Jongs and Samuel Umtiti. They travelled with the team but will not play today. Now Balde with the clearance, looking for Jutgla. Couldn't hang on to the ball, and Boca win it back. It's a long ball played by Rossi. Sebastián Villa is going to chase it. Balde needs to be careful. And he just to head it back to Neto. Neto hasn't had to intervene very much yet. Let's hope it stays that way.
Certainly not in terms of saves. He had a couple of moments in the first half where he did well to come off his line quickly and close angles down for Boca players.
One time that Luis Vázquez tried to drive the ball around him. Neto did well to deter him. Now here is Álvaro Sanz. A good game there in that defensive midfielder role. The switch over to Dani Alves. The fans always excited when he has the ball. Across by Dani Alves, goes over Ilias Akomach. In comes Coutinho. The Boca players want handball. Ferran Jutgla blasts it in. And it's a Barca goal. The Boca players aren't happy because they felt it was a handball by Felipe Coutinho. Play went on and Jutgla did very well to send the ball into the back of the net. What a strike from the youngster.
Absolutely sublime finish from Jutgla, top corner. There was a moment of confusion in the box. It looked like it could have been handball. The ball was bouncing around and Jutgla took control of the situation and just very calmly curled it into the top corner.
Here's the replay. Great ball by Ricky to Dani Alves, who puts the cross inside. Coutinho comes in. Unclear if it bounces off of his arms, but Jutgla picks it up and on the turn absolutely blasts it in. Out of reach for Rossi. Get a better view here. Coutinho comes in. Is that handball? His arms are attached to his body. I mean, if it hadn't bounced off of his right arm, it would have gone off of his chest. I don't think it is a handball.
Not according to the current rules, because it wasn't an unnatural position at all. His arms were in the shape of his body, like you said, and
his arms are there just shielding his body because he's scared that he's going to get kicked by the defender, basically.
Yeah, and it's certainly not a deliberate handball, and that's more or less the rule now. If it's an accidental handball, as long as it doesn't end up with the ball directly going into the net, or the arms are in an unnatural position, then it's fine.
Well, Ferran Jutgla knew which one his camera was. What a week it's been for the youngster. Ferran Jutgla got his first minutes in the first division at El Sadar. Today, Xavi Hernandez put him in the starting lineup, and he scored the first goal of this friendly game against Boca Juniors, and it was a cracker of a goal.
It's a big goal for him because, as we were saying in the first half, Xavi is looking for options, looking for players, and Jutgla has stood up and shown Xavi that he can score in moments like that.
Now Serginho Dest close to the byline, and Barca could have made it too. Ball cleared away by the Boca Juniors defense after a moment of confusion in the box there. Now, It's Luis Vázquez trying to run away from Mingueza. Cross came Eric to intercept. Slow down the Boca Juniors attack. Here they come again though. Sebastián Villa driving into the middle. He has support. Eric Garcia with the interception there. Barca run away with the ball. Riqui Puig is fouled, but play goes on. Serginho Dest, it's a 2-on-2, which is going to transform into a 3-on-2. Now Dest took just a little bit too long there. Didn't see the run of Ferran Jula, or he didn't see a clear passing line. It's a back and forth game now. Boca Juniors trying to hit Barca. Mingueza does well to recover. And here is Elias, who's going to hang on to the ball for a bit. Allow Barca to recompose themselves.
It's a shame that Dest couldn't feed it through to Jukla.
Here he is making a run now. Deep pass by Felipe Coutinho. Jugla driven out to the left. He's going to hang on to the ball. Strong young lad. Fouled there by Rojo. Play goes on. Riqui Puig on the edge of the box. Coutinho goes tumbling down. Riqui feeds it out to Elias, who has a chance to go one-on-one. Elias. Oh, what a lovely little nutmeg. Can he shoot? Elias hits the side netting. A lovely little bit of quality there by Elias Ahomach. Nutmeg included.
Really nice turn. And then just into the side netting. And I think that's what Xavi wants from Elias. Same as he asked for from Eze Abde. Show some skill one-on-one. Beat your man. There we go.
Beautiful.
This time it was a nutmeg, and the shot just into the side netting.
Got the best of Fabra there. Slid the ball right through his legs. Came close to scoring. Elias, of course, another player who's going to want to make a positive impression on Xavi Hernandez. Of course, the first game that Xavi saw after landing in Barcelona was a Barca B win in which Elias Ahomach scored twice. Now a chance for Boca Juniors.
Well, it shows Xavi picking Elias in that first game after seeing him in that B-team game that the spots are there to be won.
Yes, and I mean, especially with all the injuries that the first team are dealing with, likes of Ansu Fati. Oh, Rojo, naughty boy.
What did I say in the first half? Rojo has no idea what the word friendly means.
Clearly doesn't. Barca with space to run. Riqui Puig, was that touch a little bit too long? Oh, that's a heavy tackle on Riqui by Izquierdo. Play goes on. There's a little bit too much of this going on now in this second half. The Boca players clearly not happy after that, or what they consider to be a refereeing mistake in Barca's goal. Now Izquierdo running over to apologise. He's seen the first yellow card of the game. And yeah, that was a late and heavy tackle on Riqui Puig.
Yeah, even though it's a friendly, I think that's a fair booking.
Yeah.
It wasn't, that one wasn't a malicious foul. That one was, I think, just clumsy.
Yes.
From Izquierdos, but the game has been, it's been a bit tense in the second half. There have been a few confrontations and a few fouls.
You obviously don't want the game to get heated by any means. 10 minutes in this second half. His replay of the goal comes from the right. Dani Alves with the cross. Coutinho hustles for it on the edge of the box. It bounces off of him. Jugla picks it up and on the turn just puts it past the keeper, Rossi.
Sergio Aguero like touched that just to get out of his feet and then curl it into the top corner.
A good parallel there. Aguero, of course, a member of the Maradona family. Unfortunately, he's not able to be here with the squad. In fact, tomorrow there is a press conference scheduled. An announcement to be made by Sergio El Kun Agüero. We'll have to wait and see what it is. Careful now, the opportunity for Boca Juniors, and Neto does well to come out and deny Villa. Good job by our keeper there. It's first save of the game.
He did very well again to come quickly off his line. That's half of the job when you're a Barca keeper, is to be alert to the attack and come quickly out.
It just goes to show you can have a good quiet game like the one Alvaro Santos was having, but just one mistake in one pass can be very costly. Here is Mingueza, Álvaro Sanz. Another pass intercepted, another chance for Boca Juniors. Villa closed down by Álvaro Sanz. Now Villa just going for the worst option, probably. Shot at an angle. The player waiting inside the box wasn't very happy with him, his teammate.
Yeah, you can't blame him for having a go at Villa there. I think it was a selfish effort.
1-0 for Barca. The goal was scored by Jutgla. Fantastic effort from inside the box. On the turn into the top right corner. Here's Dani Alves. Alves, long switch over to Dest, headed away by Advíncula. Griki brings it down and feeds Balde as the oncoming run. Balde with Dest, defended by Advíncula. Very powerful right back, the former Rayo Vallecano player. .58 minutes played. Here's Alves. Elias had a very good chance a few minutes ago. Nutmeg and a shot into the side netting. Now Elias making another run into the box. That delivery was just too long. Rossi came out to take care of business. What's going on now? Ball cleared out for a throw-in. Rossi throws it out deliberately. It looks like there's a player who's having some trouble. It's Advíncula. They have to receive medical attention. Let's see. It's in the challenge here with Balde. Doesn't seem like there's anything. Oh, it's when he gets up.
Yeah, it wasn't anything to do with Balde. It's probably just overextending himself in that challenge there.
Well, there's no point in taking risks, so that's probably the end of it today for Luis Advíncula, the Peruvian right back. And Barca are going to take the opportunity to make some substitutions. Number 25 is Mika Marmol, and number 20, Mateus. Mateus comes on for Álvaro Sanz. And Mika Marmol, a central defender, left-footed.
He's one of the Barca B players, I think, that perhaps sooner rather than later we might end up seeing getting some minutes in La Liga for Barca.
Did he replace Eric?
Yeah, on for Eric Garcia.
Let's see, he's going to get half an hour to shine. Mika Marmol, who usually pairs at the back with Arnau Comas. Oh, Comas has come in as well. So has Guillem Jaime. Right, Barca have made several substitutions here. So we're going to have to see what the formation is. Mika Marmol is playing as left back. Mingueza is pairing with Arnau Comas at centre back, and Guillem Jaime has come on for Dani Alves.
Well, a pretty solid hour from Dani Alves on his first game back for Barcelona. I think he was involved in most of the good attacking play they had in the first half, and then of course his cross led to the eventual goal.
So Balde's moved up to left winger. That means that Serginho Dest was taken off. We're going to have to try and kind of recount here, because I think that Dani Alves is still on the pitch. Dani Alves is still on the pitch. Boca Juniors are now making substitutions. This is when it gets complicated.
Yeah, Dani Alves seems to have moved up into the midfield.
So Coutinho was probably taken off. Coutinho, Dest, Eric. The players taken off there. We're going to need some help here with all of these Boca Juniors substitutions. I can see number 11 coming on, that's Eduardo Salvio. Rojo still on. He's probably going to want to play the full 90 minutes, Rick.
Absolutely. So competitive. 7 years at Manchester United will do that for you.
I can see Diego Gonzalez has come on as well for Boca Juniors. So let's see, when we get a moment in which the game comes to a halt, we're going to try and reorganize this Barca lineup from what we see. Now Balde's down on the ground. Boca Juniors aren't going to throw the ball out. Now they are. Right, so let's see, Rick, Barca playing with, I'm assuming Neto's still in goal, or maybe Iñaki Peña's come on. We haven't had a shot yet. The information isn't flowing.
I think it's Marmol left back,
Marmol left back,
and Mingueza in the middle,
and Guillem Jaime on at right back. The midfield has Mateus, Dani Alves, and Riqui Puig, and up front it's Balde, Jutgla, and Elias, if I'm not mistaken.
I think we've got it.
Seems to be that way. So the only two players who are still on the bench and who could potentially play are Nico and Gavi, but seeing as they have plenty of minutes with the first team, and Xavi Hernandez is probably worried about the amount of minutes that they've had, we probably won't see them in today's game.
No, not unless he wants to preserve perhaps Balde, if he plans to use him at the weekend against Elche.
We'll just have to wait and see here. Boca in possession, and of course now it's kind of like in pre-season games when several Barca B players get called up. It's always interesting to see how they perform under the spotlight, with the first team coach watching them.
The game usually becomes more broken and chaotic, and then it's a bit harder to shine. So anyone who does normally has played very well.
Ball goes straight out for a throw in. Nika Marmol is going to put it back in play, playing at left back. That's not his natural position, we insist. He usually plays as centre back, pairing with Arnau Comas. There's Guillem Jaime, who has an interesting story as well. He had left Barca, came back this season to help the B team.
He, once upon a time, was actually in a first-team squad for Barca under Ernesto Valverde in the Copa del Rey, but he didn't come on to make his debut.
Oh, we can't count this as a debut, really. It's not an official game. But yeah, Guillem Jaime, a player who was at Castelló, came back to Barca B, but he'd previously been in La Masia. Careful with that long ball played for Balde, who tries to bring it down on his chest, couldn't keep it in. And I was saying, Balde played at Barca since he was 7 years old, made it to Barca B. He was at Barca B for 2 seasons and played 47 games. He was the third captain, then left and came back.
Well, he knows where his home is. I think that's been... Barca are a club where players have quite often left and come back in the past. Some of them very high-profile ones like Piqué or Fabregas.
Eric Garcia,
yeah.
Happens at Barca B too. Well, it's even happened with Dani Alves, hasn't it? Not the same case as all these other players we're talking about, but...
I think Dani Alves said it quite well on his presentation the second time around, when he said he's been everywhere and nowhere is quite like Barca.
Now Barca win it back. Dani Alves precisely finds Elias on the right. Elias cuts in, the shot into the hands of Rossi. Another good chance for the young winger. Now Boca on the run. There's Diego Gonzalez. Marmol comes across to win it back for Barca. Riqui out wide to Dani Alves.
I think Elias is feeling a good kind of pressure, because we saw in that game when he started, Abde came on, had a good second half, and in the games where Elias hasn't been able to feature recently, Abde's been playing very well, scored his first goal against Osasuna. So the two of them are fighting for what could be one spot, could be 2 spots if they're put in both of the wide positions, but it's kind of a good, healthy competition.
Now Mingueza trying to play the ball forward. There was no Barca player where the ball went, but there's no trouble there for Neto to pick up the ball after an attempt to play it long from the Argentinian side. Fans having fun at the Marsal Park. Just a reminder that if Boca did manage to equalise and this ended in a draw, there'll be a penalty shootout. The winner does get a trophy. Here is Jules Glas on the run. Jules Glas on the edge of the box. The shot's a little bit weak in between two defenders. And he sends it wide.
You can see what he's trying to do there, because I think most people expected, including the goalkeeper, he might try and curl another one into that top corner he went for before, but just tried to slip it in at the bottom left corner instead, but didn't quite get his angles right.
Boca playing from behind in their own half. Ricky just trying to up the pressure a little bit. Rossi might have to play this one long. There it goes. Now Comas comes across to intercept with the header, but Boca recover anyway. Here goes Fabra. And Alves in front of him. Boca making progress down the left flank. Good recovery by Guillem Jaime, getting his body in the right position. Now he runs out. Good effort there by the right back. Alves. Switch was meant for Ricky Puig, but Boca win it back. Now a heavy tackle by Mateus. Oh, and he's going to see a yellow card. I kind of guess if that had been a first team player, he wouldn't have seen a yellow card. But since it's Mateus and he plays for Barca B usually, it's easier to just show him that yellow card. It was a heavy tackle, of course, but in the first half, I don't think that would have been worthy of a yellow.
Yeah, I think maybe the referee wants to make sure the game doesn't boil over.
Especially taking into account those minutes after the Barca goal, in which Boca Juniors did put in a couple of heavy tackles. Here comes a cross inside now. Mika Marmol trying to clear the shot off of the rebound. Straight into the sands, but it was a dangerous one. Aaron Molina is one of the players who's come on in this second half. 21-year-old Argentinian who played 18 games this season for Boca.
It was a dangerous area to let him have a shot from, but I think the pressure on him was just enough. He couldn't really get any control over his effort.
It's one of those areas in which coaches never want defenders to clear the ball to. Just the middle of the box. Mingueza comes across now to block across. This one coming by Cristian Pavón. You were saying before, Rick, one of the most dangerous players on this Boca squad.
Yeah, for sure. He's had good experience with Argentina, the 2018 especially.
There's Elias running away with the ball. Chased down by Ceballos. Run forward by Fabra. Now hanging onto the ball as Arnau Comas slowed him down. The header goes wide. Incoming cross from the left. The chance there for Boca Juniors.
The Barca defence was a little bit static there, and it gave Boca a chance, but it's quite a difficult angle to score from a header there.
They managed to draw out Arnau Comas. Mingueza was left there with Diego González. Couldn't quite turn his head around enough to send the ball in the right direction. 20 minutes remaining in this game. It's Barca 1, Boca Juniors 0. The goal was scored by Ferran Jutgla at the beginning of the second half. Now here's Arnau Comas. Mingueza. Back to Comas, and Comas sends it back to Neto. I'm wondering if we're going to get to see Iñaki Peña or not.
I'm sure Iñaki Peña will be hoping so, but I wouldn't be surprised if Xavi gives Neto the full game, because you never know when
you're going to need him.
Exactly, yeah. And it's one of those positions where it's always difficult for keepers, because they're not used to, keepers on the bench that is, they're not used to playing, and they're not used to having kind of the match practice. So any match practice they can have is worth giving them.
Here's Rojo. Jaime. Oh, sorry, Elias. That's going in there for the challenge. Clearing it out for a throw-in. Boca with the ball, looking for an equaliser. Here comes a run in behind Mingueza. Danger in Barca's box. Mingueza manages to draw it out, and Guillem Jaime helps in recovering the ball for Barca. Jaime with the clearance. Long one. Straight to where Rojo can pick it up, and Boca are going to have the ball again. These are, of course, experienced players on the Argentinian side, playing against mostly Barca B members now.
It'll be a good formative experience for the youngsters playing a team that is obviously determined. They're trying to fight their way back into the game, and I think Xavi will also welcome this opportunity, because we've seen in recent weeks when Barca are leading in the final stages and they need to not let in a goal, he wants them to push up the pitch and attack, and we'll see if he can get them to do that here.
Well, right now, barring Neto, Mingueza, Ricky and Dani Alves, this is a team that Sergio Barjuan could field in any game. The other 7 remaining players belonging to Barca B. Here is Cristian Pavón on the right, the 1-2. Pavón is going to try and put a cross inside. Mika Marmol does well, sliding down to disturb that cross. Now Dani Alves with the shove from behind is called for the foul. The referee's not going to book Alves.
I think if Dani Alves was going to get booked, it might have been earlier on in this game.
Clear foul there by Alves on Diego González. Previous foul by Juglan. Tension rising there. He's not afraid of a challenge, our goal scorer today. Chance at the set piece here for Boca Juniors. There could be a cross put in by Aaron Molinas, but I'd say Marcos Rojo seems fairly determined to take the shot himself.
With his left foot, it's not a bad angle.
No. 5 Boca Junior players waiting for a cross. 2-man wall for Barca. Rojo is going to go straight for glory here. The shot into the hands of Neto, who dropped it, but into a comfortable enough position for him to pick it up again.
He had his body behind the ball, just as you need to as a goalkeeper in that situation, so even though he didn't hold it first time, he was quite well protected.
So yeah, throw in for Boca Juniors on the right. It's Carlos Zambrano, another player who's come in this second half. Mateus and Balde do well to recover the ball for Barca. Balde, careful. It's dispossessed by Pavón. Pavón tries to get in between Balde and Mingueza. The 2 defenders do well to deny him an entry. Another nutmeg in this game, but the progress of Zambrano was interrupted. Boca still with the ball. Bit of sloppy football now. Both teams just trying to get out of that right attacking flank for Boca or left defensive flank for Barca. Dani Alves ended up being fouled, and that's going to allow Barca to breathe. There's another view of that nutmeg on Mika Marmol. And the foul on Dani Alves.
Clever footwork from Alves, just shifting his body, drawing the foul.
Mateus, long switch looking for Elias, just too long there. No way that Elias could get to that ball. We're not seeing as much of Barca playing in Boca's half now. It's more the Argentinians going for the equaliser. But Barca's doing well at denying them chances, but the game is being played in Barca's half now. Here comes an opportunity, and there's the commentator's jinx. It's just saying that Barca had done well to deny them opportunities. A couple of seconds later, the ball is put in the back of the net. A run down the left flank by Fabra, the cross inside, and the finish slotted in past Neto. 14 minutes remaining. Boca Juniors managed to equalise the goal that was initially scored by Ferran Jutgla. Good attacking action by Sebastián Bataglia's team.
It was well taken finish by Ceballos. And I think you were right, Robert, though. They hadn't created many clear chances until this one.
It is Ezequiel Ceballos who puts it in the back of the net off of the cross by Fabra. Just Gomes desperately sliding in there, trying to clear. Couldn't get to the ball. And some of the fans there delighted. It's a mix of Barca and Boca Juniors supporters here at the Marsal Park. And we're going to get a couple of competitive 13 minutes here at the end of the game. Both teams tied. As we said before, if this were to end in a draw, we're going to go to a penalty shootout to determine who wins this Maradona trophy in the tribute to the Argentinian legend.
I wonder if that goal for Boca will encourage Barca to step up a bit more and try and attack more and have the ball in Boca territory.
Now, here is Ricky Puig on the edge of the box. Touch was just too long. Juglar couldn't make the most of it. It was led by Alves, that transition by Barca. Now Balde on the left. Couldn't keep possession. Zambrano under pressure, gets it to Rojo. One of the only starters for Boca who's still on the field. Mingueza and Marmon defending. The scorer of the goal, Ceballos. And Barca recover the ball. Here's Arnau Gomes. Jaime. Barca playing from behind. 11 minutes remaining, 1-1. Juglar gave Barca the advantage. Ceballos neutralised it.
Both goals were supremely well taken. Juglar's curler into the top corner and that first time finish from Ceballos. Great finishing.
Now quick pass by Ricky Puig. Allows Mateus to make progress. He's looking for the run of Balde, couldn't quite see a clear passing line. Mingueza's going to play the long ball, looking for the run of Dani Alves. He's inside the box. Oh, Alves couldn't bring it down. Such a shame, he's frustrated there. Knows he could have done better.
It is difficult to control a ball dropping out of the sky just over your shoulder.
Imagine if he'd have got just enough of a touch to loop it over the keeper. Rossi's going to play it long. So we enter the final 10 minutes of the game. Rossi taking his time.
Oh, maybe he's hoping to be the hero in a penalty shootout.
Well, could certainly be. Neither of the teams have changed their goalkeepers, Rossi and Neto. Unless there are any late substitutions, we'll play the full 90 minutes. Would, of course, have the spotlight on them if this ends in a draw and we go to the penalty shootout. Here's Neto, feeding it out wide to Guillem Jaime. Mateus. Juglar, lovely first touch pass over to Dani Alves, and now Guillem Jaime has made a run forward. His cross is intercepted. Barca still have possession. Mateus over to Ricky. Ricky back to Mingueza. Now, all 10 Barca field players playing in the Boca Juniors half.
Part of that is Boca getting the goal they were hoping for and then sitting back a bit. But part of it is Barca going on the attack and looking for what would be the winner.
I've seen a Barca clear chance since Elias sent it into the hands of Rossi. He's had a couple of clear ones. Here he is. Elias back to Mateus. Barca did have a rush of chances early in the second half, especially after the Juglar goal. Let's see what the team can produce in these final minutes. Jaime over to Elias. He's one-on-one with Fabra. Elias wants to drive inside. He tumbles over. Some of the fans want to foul. The referee felt there was not enough there.
Just tried to worm his way through the middle of those two defenders. Did get a little tug back on his arm, but perhaps not enough to penalise.
Barca still in possession. Boca at the moment seem happy to allow Barca to have that control of the ball. Mingueza weighing his options. Decides to drive forward. He has Balde on the left. Here he is, Balde. Back to Mingueza. Balde pushed out. Mateus inside to Dani Alves. Barca enjoying a long possession here. Ricky lifts it over to Elias Guillem Jaime. Just to rectify. Still manages to control the ball though. Barca looking for a way in. It's Mateus Jutgla on his way to playing the full 90 minutes. So is Ricky. Mingueza trying to play the pass inside to Dani Alves. Barca lose the ball and Boca want to run. You can hear the coaching staff asking Ricky to run back. Barca recompose themselves in defense, and now Boca enjoy possession. Salvio inside pass over to the goal scorer Ceballos. Here he is again. Comas is going to have to come across. Mingueza clears. They have been dangerous a couple of times down that left flank, getting in between Jaime and Arnau Comas.
That's right. Trying to capitalise on the relative inexperience of those players.
Ricky urging his teammates to try and push Boca back a little bit, trying to move out, not play so deep. Elias misjudged now. Again, Boca trying down the left-hand side. Here is Fabra. Wants to get away from Guillem Jaime. He does. Here is Fabra again. The cross this time bounces off of Arnau Comas, and it'll be a corner kick for Boca Juniors. It did look like Guillem Jaime was going to win it back, but then in the end, Fabra managed to run away with the ball.
He's had a good second half. Fabra was quite quiet in the first. We didn't really see much of him. I think mainly because Barca were on the attack and had more of the ball, but with Boca more involved in the game, he's found some good spaces there.
Chance at the set piece. The Argentinian side. There are 5 players waiting for the ball inside the box. Aaron Molinas with the delivery. Here it comes, headed away by Ferran Jutgla. Now in defensive mode. After scoring Barca's only goal in this game. Ricky having to defend here. Outrun the shot by Rojo, going for the accurate curler there, but it went straight out. It was Christian Pavon who'd initially gotten away from Ricky Puig. Barca want to play from behind, do a good job of it. One-touch passing. Now Dani Alves putting it back in the Barca box, and Mateus had to run back to get that one. To throw in for Barca after the ball took a touch of Ceballos. Those chants of Neto.
Is that a solid game?
Couldn't do much in the Boca Juniors goal, which came from point-blank range off of a good cross by Fabra.
Those first-time finishes are very hard to handle as a keeper.
We have been told as well that there'll be an MVP picked after this game. Obviously, I think it depends on which team wins. So if this ends in a draw and we have to go to the penalty shootout, I don't think we're going to see a vote go through until then. Now, Dani Alves is down on the ground, felt that he was fouled. ball's going to have to be thrown out. Let's hope that there's nothing. Ooh. Late tackle there on Alves. Just stomped on his foot.
Yeah, it looked a painful one. The stud's just going in above the ankle but below the shin.
There's the goal scored by Jutgla early in the second half. Fantastic strike. All the youngster in his first season at Barca since he was signed in the summer from Espanyol, and this is the equaliser. Ceballos finishing with the outside part of his foot, connecting with the cross produced by Fabra. See if Dani Alves is able to continue after going down after that tackle. And I was saying that an MVP will be picked. More than likely it's going to be a player from the winning team, which could come from a penalty shootout. But Rick, if we were to pick a Barca MVP, who are we going for?
I think it's hard to look beyond Dani Alves, not just because he's playing his first Barca game for so many years, but he's been involved in everything. Helped set up the goal for Jutgla with his cross that Coutinho nudged into Jutgla's path, and yeah, it's been lively and creative.
I think there are three candidates for Barca. All three of them have played the full 90 minutes. Of course, he's one of them, Jutgla, the goal scorer. So always, he's always going to have a chance to be named the MVP. I think Riqui Puig has had a good performance as well. Always involved in the process of creating opportunities for Barca. He had two early ones, but Dani Alves seems like the symbolic one as well. He's had a good game. It's the day of his return in the Barca jersey, and he's been influential in the game as well, taking part in the goal. So, I mean, I'd be surprised if it doesn't go to him, if it is, in fact, a Barca player that gets picked MVP.
I'd also like to highlight Balde. He hasn't had that much going forward, but at the back he's been useful a couple of times with his speed just to help cover.
We're in the final minutes of this game, an offside called against Boca Juniors. We'll see if there's any added time. But if this were to end like this, we're going to go to a penalty shootout. Arnau Comas. Long switch looking for Balde. The ball's headed back by Zambrano. Rossi picks it up. Doesn't look like he's in too much of a hurry, really and truthfully. Asking his players to make their way up the pitch for a long delivery. 2 minutes of added time. There were several substitutions made, so it seems fair enough. Let's see if Barca can squeeze one in these last 2 minutes and spare us the excitement of a penalty shootout.
I have to admit, I quite enjoy a penalty shootout.
Yes. Always interesting to see which players step up to take it. We saw last season a couple of them for Barca, one in the what was it, the Spanish Super Cup against Real Sociedad in the semi-finals. Riqui Puig was one of the players who actually asked to take a penalty, and Ronald Koeman gave him the responsibility, and he delivered.
Yeah, it was a winning penalty, I think.
It was the winning penalty, yes. There he is, right now on our screens. The broadcasters knew we were talking about him. If it is, in fact, 2 minutes of added time, there's only one left of stoppage. Boca looking for a last opportunity and looking to deprive us of a penalty shootout. Barca defense trying to prevent that from happening. A foul on Balde. Barca will play from behind. Here's Mingueza. Comas. Back to Oscar Mingueza. Mateus on the turn. Is there time for one final Barca chance? Balde. There's the help of Mika Marmol. Here is Marmol. Inside pass to Riqui. Could be a Barca chance coming. Marmol again. Inside to Balde. Back pass to Mateus. Barca trying to build. Boca Juniors defending well, being very tight here. The game comes to an end, and If we've not been lied to, Rick, we're going to have a penalty shootout.
And if we have been lied to, I'll be very disappointed.
Right, well, the game ended 1-1. Goal scored by Jutgla and Ceballos, and now we're going to have to wait for the penalty shootout.
I think Xavi will be happy enough with what he's seen from Dani Alves.
Right, well, the players next to the bench there, and we're going to have to see who steps up for the penalty shootout. Rick, you were saying that Xavi's going to be pleased with the performance of some of his players.
Yeah, for sure. Dani Alves for one, because the first minutes he's had for a while. I think Ilias showed some bright sparks in the second half. Riqui Puig showed that when he's given the sort of chief creating role in midfield, he can take the game by the scruff of the neck and make things happen.
Fans there showing signs of Diego Maradona. We've seen a mix of Barca jerseys and Boca Juniors shirts in the stands in this friendly game, which the fans have enjoyed. The talk by Xavi Hernandez with his team, all huddled around him. We'll see which 5 players are picked to take penalties. We saw Xavi give the nod to Guillem Jaime. We'll see if he's one of the players who steps up to take a penalty. And it's always, as I said before, interesting to see who wants to do it. Obviously, it's easier in a friendly game, of course, because there's nothing at stake. But still, you want to deliver.
Absolutely, and the coach will remember, what happens, and if you miss, then maybe, and there's a penalty shootout later in Copa del Rey or Europa League this season, then maybe Xavi will remember what happened in this shootout.
Well, there's going to be a captain's draw between Dani Alves and Marcos Rojo. You see Sergio Busquets there on the bench talking to Xavi Hernandez, who's also talking to Riqui Puig, giving him some indications of things that happened during the game. And they do always say that the team who takes the penalty first generally has an advantage. Studies have shown that anyway.
I think it makes sense because you're taking penalties with less pressure on you, because if you go second, you're always playing catch-up.
Exactly.
In theory.
Well, we're waiting for this penalty shootout. A very festive atmosphere at the Marsul Park in Riyadh. And it seems like Boca Juniors are going to be the team who take the first penalty. Players slowly making their way into the centre circle, where they'll await to see what happens. And just saw there Carlos Izquierdo, the centre-back who started for Boca Juniors, had his arm around Riqui Puig, so just a good vibe between the players of both teams. And now it's time for Neto to shine, as we were saying before. Goalkeepers, probably the players put under the most pressure in these penalty shootouts.
It's often a nice moment for them because they get the chance to be the hero, which
exactly
in the game more often they get the chance to be the villain because one mistake and people are looking at them.
Right, so here we go. Penalty shootout. Who's going to win this Maradona friendly trophy? Neto on the line. Rojo's going to take it. There goes the Argentinian, sends Neto the wrong way, and scores first for Boca Juniors. So as he was saying right now, Rick, Barca being the second team in this penalty shootout. We're playing catch-up.
Yes, not an ideal situation, but those are the breaks. It was a good penalty from Rojo. You saw why he was confident early to try and take that free kick as well.
There's always the conflict as well of, do you want to save your best penalty taker for last? Do you want to have your best penalty takers at the beginning? different teams have different strategies. Barca are going with Dani Alves first, so this could be his first goal in his return for Barca, but I don't think it would count in the historic run of goals for Alves, wearing the captain's armband. Here he is. Alves sends it into the back of the net. The keeper went the right way, and there he is, saying, "You were just an inch away, Rossi."
Got enough power in it, Dani Alves. Like you said, he went the right way, but there was just enough force to take it beyond the keeper.
Oh, he got his fingertips to it. So it's 1-1 in this penalty shootout. The next player is going to be Izquierdoz, right-footed centre-back. Neto looking to make his first save of the game. Here goes Izquierdoz. Shot blasted into the back of the net. So far, the Boca Juniors players have managed to send Neto the wrong way in both attempts.
Though, to be honest, if Neto had gone the right way, it still would have been pretty hard to keep that one out. Very powerful effort.
Well taken penalty. Jutgla is the next one up for Barca. He was the scorer of the Blaugrana goal early in the second half. He found the back of the net earlier on. Can he do it again now? Here he is, Ferran Jutgla. Oh, he gets the lucky touch there. The keeper managed to get his gloves to it, but the ball rolled underneath him. And Jutgla very fortunate to see that one go in, but it'll count.
Yeah, Rossi will be cursing his luck there. He went the right way, but just didn't get his body behind the shot. Snuck under him.
Came very, very, very close to saving it, but the goal counts, and it's 2-2 in this penalty shootout. And now for Boca Juniors, Cristian Pavón. He's gonna try and give Boca control of the shootout again. Here we go. Pavón into the back of the net. He sent it right. Neto went to his right. So far, it's a 100% efficiency from both teams in terms of penalties taken.
Another very good kick into the side netting.
Boca Juniors in the lead. Now, for Barca, it's going to be Mateus. Came on in the second half. Brazilian midfielder. He usually starts for Barca B. Here goes Mateus, and his one is saved by Rossi. He got his gloves to it in the Dani Alves penalty. The ball slid in. Then in the Jutgla penalty, he almost saved it, but the ball rolled underneath him. Now, third time was a charm for Agustin Rossi, who went to his left and managed to push the ball away off of the attempt by Mateus.
Well, they say that that kind of height is perfect for a goalkeeper because it's quite hard to get across and down to the ones that go in the bottom corners, or certainly to reach the ones that go in the top corners, and it was a nice height for him.
Let's see if Neto can keep Barca close in this one. Aaron Molina's the taker. A shot. Ooh, that's a nice penalty taken by Aaron Molina, straight into the top left corner. Out of reach for Neto. Now, the next Barca taker will be forced to score. If not, Boca Juniors are going to run away with this.
That's another exceptional penalty. I wouldn't surprise me if Boca had been practicing their penalties ahead of this game.
Very sweetly taken. They won a penalty shootout to take away the Copa Argentina 0-0 draw in regulation time against Talleres Córdoba. And Boca won on penalties. Guillem Jaime, right back. This is the player who steps up for Barca. If he scores, we stay in the penalty shootout. If he doesn't, well, we're out. He sends it over the crossbar, and Boca Juniors win the penalty shootout and take away this Maradona trophy in the Diego Armando Maradona tribute played at the Marsul Park in Riyadh. It wasn't to be. It wasn't to be, Rick. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Yeah, unfortunate for Barca not to take a victory there, but that's the way the penalty shootouts go. And to be fair to Boca, their penalties were of a very high quality.
Well, thank you very much, Rick. It was 1-1 in regulation, but Boca Juniors won in the penalty shootout. Thank you for watching on Barca TV, and we'll see you soon. Don't forget to watch the post-game coverage.